automobile and the suburb. We went from a society of one car per household in 1969 to nearly two cars per household in 1995, even though the size of the average household was shrinking over this period. One inevitable consequence of how we have come to organize our lives spatially is that we spend measurably more of every day shuttling alone in metal boxes among the vertices of our private triangles. Spending more and more time in the car. The car and the commute, however, are demonstrably bad for community life. In round numbers, the evidence suggests that each additional 10 minutes in daily commuting time cuts involvement in community affairs by 10%. Sheesh. So, that's mostly the scoop. There you go. There you have it. There is solid sociological evidence proving that when these people talk about walkability, when they talk about car dependency, they are spitting. There is something to it. It's not all just some Marxist ploy to, they want to take away our cars. I do think that is a little bit of a false dialectic, kind of a pea-brained conservatard take, and it is tough because I like cars. Cars are sick. But car-dependent infrastructure is, I'll make the objective claim that it just sucks. It's not pretty. It's not good for anyone. A walkable European city is objectively more beautiful than Detroit. It's pretty obvious. I don't think there's any subjectivity in that. It's more dysgenic. It's worse for social connections. So, I don't know, man. Because here's why. European cities, London, Paris, existed long before industrialization. They were laid out before industrialization. In the case of America, they were built around it. Built with it, built around it. And this is what creates this type of metropolitan model, where there's the city proper, where a lot of people live, but even more people live surrounding the city in this larger metropolitan area, in these suburbs, commuting into the city.
I'm going to try to talk to myself as if I'm talking to a client. And it's really crazy because when I see myself, I'm so reliant on the other person to provide me the framework in which to act and speak, that when I lose that framework, I don't know how to talk or what to say or how to move my body. And, just like if you were to learn how to code with React, and then you need to try to code something without that framework, it would be difficult. You have to learn a bunch of new things. You got to kind of learn the basics again. And so you feel your heartbeat and you realize you're feeling nervous, and then you take a breath. It makes me really nervous to do this. My heartbeat is really fast. I am a little bit buzzed. I vape. I'm nervous to share that I vape because it's something personal about me, and so I don't know how people are going to receive it, and so I worry about that. But by hiding parts of myself and not being able to fully express myself, I'm holding myself back. I'm like holding myself down in certain parts. So instead of being able to breathe fully, I'm holding myself down. Instead of being able to move my arms fully, I'm holding myself down. That's what a live anxiety attack looks like. My heartbeat was going crazy. And I was like just so focused on how I was looking in other perspectives, but like that's how much my mind is working that my body has to work like overtime. Like, you know, if you're running a heavy and like intense program that takes up a lot of processing power, you know, your computer is going to be working overtime, your fan's going to be running high. And that's kind of like it is when you're having anxious thoughts. Your body has to operate as if you're doing some intense labor because you're doing a lot of computation. You're computing all the various reactions that you're going to get from other people. In real time, you're like running those numbers. You're like, but on an emotional scale, not, you know, on some like we don't have a way to logically organize how, like, a mind goes through anxious thoughts. Unless, I'm not super informed on research in the area, so I shouldn't say that. Imposter syndrome is like, with what I know now, am I qualified to be able to do what I'm being paid to do? And we're all in the same boat in that regard. You know what you know, and knowing what you need to know and how to get there. I know for me to get where I need to go, that I need to push myself through these anxiety attacks about talking in front of a camera so that I can talk more freely when I am in front of other people and not, have to spend time, well, if I practice avoiding something due to my anxiety, then I will continue to avoid things due to my anxiety. If I practice meeting my anxiety and powering through it, then I will master, meeting my anxiety and powering through it. And at that point, no matter what anxiety I face about any new thing that I'm doing, it's not that I need to avoid feeling anxiety. It's that, how do I've gone through it enough times where I can just flow with the anxiety. So, I would never act like this in front of somebody else. And that's why I get so tired being around other people. I mean, is this even my natural state? What is a natural state? I think that's all I'll post for this.